JockWave.
Making me absolutely crazy.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
I ain't scared of you.
Or who we thought they were. And we let them go.
You can't have my cornbread, that's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree won't begin up in here on your ass right now.
Greetings and salutations, you know who it is. It's me, the King, David B, and this is the David Brewer Show. Well, that's what you got. You got the King, David Brewer. Okay, well, welcome to another day, Nadala. Holla if you hear me. A lot of things going on today again. Once again, today, it's been a long time coming. King David, the David Brewer Show, getting back on. You know, for he's like, what, David, you be on, like, you do one show, and then you're not there for, 14 weeks, and then you come back and you do another show, and you might do 3 shows in a row, and then you come, I'm working on my consistency, but right now, I'm like, what's his old boy's name? They used to play with LeBron James for Cleveland, the dude that called the timeout or didn't make the shot that he was supposed to make or something like that. He did something he wasn't supposed to do. I can't remember his name right now. He played for, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's a streaky shooter. Either he's off or he's on. Very streaky though. That's me right now, but I'm working on, I'm practicing right now. So don't worry about me. I'm cool with that, and there's a lot of things a lot of mistakes I can make since I'm not popular. You can kind of, shirk responsibility when you are not popular at the moment. Like when people don't care if you're there or not, you can kind of, do things in a whole different, atmosphere. You don't have to be just like if I was to take a sample. If one of my samples on my intro, I'm supposed to pay for it. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm supposed to pay for it, nobody would really care unless I actually started making money or I started being popular. And it's like, wait, that's my soundbite. How are you gonna take this from us? You owe us. So nobody cares right now to a certain extent. So I can do kind of what I want to do, how I want to do it. And when I want to do it, and when I do it, and did. So, it's okay. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay. I'm alright. With my inconsistent behavior. However, I'm changing that because I want to be better for my children. I want to teach them consistency. So I have to make sure that I'm consistent. I want to teach them, success. So I have to be success. And that's what I think. And if you hear any bumps and thumps and wind blowing, that's me because I'm in the car. This is my rolling studio. Yes, thank you for joining me. JockWave presents. I don't want to get rid of the name JockWave. I don't want to get rid of the original name of my show, which is JockWave. So I moved JockWave to more of it's a production. It's going to be my production company. It is my production company, and the David Brewer Show is, the show. And we'll go at it in that way. But, new things happening today are what? Tell me what's happening today. I'll tell you what's happening today. Here we go, right now. Joe Biden officially puts his, I think it was actually last night that he did that, but we're going to say today because this is what they're saying today. Today, Joe Biden officially puts his hat in the ring. Becoming the 20th Democratic Democrat to enter into the presidential race of 2020. I think that's really an excessive amount of candidates. I think that's excessive to no end. I really think that, and I gotta say, because I think this, maybe I learned this being down south. You gotta repeat yourself at least 3 times. It's excessive. Okay, so let me tell you why I put the explicit check mark on my thing. Not because I'm a cursor. I don't curse. I don't say really. I don't drop F-bombs or any of the shenanigans. But what I will say is nigga. I will say nigga in many different variations. And I will say it for many different reasons. I'll use it as I see fit. But that's pretty much all I'll say that would be considered, I guess, explicit. Because some people are like, hey man, you said nigga. Like, yeah, so what? I call I call anything and anybody a nigga. So, but I say that. But getting back to what I was talking about, there's too many people, way too many people, operating within the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's running for president. I think this is just excessive. It's ridiculous. Why do you need 20 people running for president? I mean, and so they're talking about it on the CNN. I'm listening to CNN radio on Sirius XM. That's a plug. Sirius, you should pay me. CNN, that's a plug. You should pay me too. Channel 116. I'm trying to get paid. They're talking about Joe Biden running, right? And they're like, I think the lady asked, like, what distinguishes you from the pact and all the pact, I should say, not the pact, because it's not like he's making a deal with them. But what distinguishes you from, not what distinguishes you from the deal, what distinguishes you from the group, the other 19 people running for president in your own party? And I'm not sure what he said. I think he was in a rush, so he didn't really answer it. But I know she asked about, asked him about why is Obama not endorsing you? If he's a good friend, and why would he endorse you if he's really behind you, man? Listen, why has Obama got to endorse anybody? Why does he have to endorse Joe Biden? Why did he have to? He really didn't need to endorse Hillary Clinton. It gives you something to because Obama's endorsing you. I don't really think it does much, because Hillary Clinton was endorsed by Obama. You say she was late. Well, she was endorsed by Obama. It's done. I believe it's done not because. I think Obama did it because he's cool with the Clintons, and I think he did it for Bill's sake. But I don't know, because if you think about it, when they ran against Obama in 2008, when the Clintons ran against the Obamas, in 2008, they was saying all kinds of strange stuff, and we used to call Bill. I used to people. I say we. Black folks still try to call Bill Clinton the first black president or whatever, whatever. But which is kind of funny, because if you think about it, black people don't trust black people, and Bill Clinton had that crime bill that incarcerated more black people, and you would think that is something that a black person probably would do, because really no, it's something that a black person probably would do, because they don't trust other black folks, which is why. Well, I'm gonna talk about that too, because I heard it on the radio. I think it was on Sirius XM again. I need to get paid, Sirius. On Sirius XM, I'm listening to them. I'm listening to Kevin Hart's channel 96 on Sirius XM. I'm trying to get some money. It's Laugh Out Loud Radio. Kevin Hart, I'd like to get paid by you too, if it's possible. But so the show Quake's House, which is Earthquake the comedian, they were kind of talking about, they kind of talk about a little bit of everything, but they, mentioning some of that same stuff about black people not working together. How can black people, basically what Earthquake was saying was that Democrats use black people, to get the votes. And I've heard this before, of course. And I think if you've ever been into politics, you hear this a lot. And I think that what we see now happening is kind of a shift in politics. It's a little bit of a shift. It's a little bit, but it's not as big as a shift as we should have, or that should already even be there. We shouldn't even be talking about the shift happening. This is something that should have already just been done. But black people, as they were talking about on Earthquake show, of course. On Earthquake show, they were talking about this. Now, every time I start my show, every time I do it live, you guys know this happens. A phone call comes through because my studio is on my phone. So a phone call always comes through. I don't actually have it on silent because I didn't have time to put it on silent because I'm driving. I'm a professional driver. I'm a professional Uber driver. This is what I do. I do it, and I do it well. Doing it well. But getting back to what I'm talking about, they're talking about how black people, we don't have, wealth within our own community. We don't have a cohesive political unit within our culture, whereas Asians have it, Hispanics have it. You say Mexicans have it. I would say other Hispanics have it, but definitely Mexicans have it. There's a sense of togetherness. Of course, white people have it. But you say Jews have it. Italians have it. So everybody is like Irish people. Everybody in America has Africans, whether you're Nigerian, Somalian, Ethiopian. Everybody has a community that they stay close with. Black Americans are the only people who don't ride with each other in a lot of ways. And you say, well, that's not true. I'm in Atlanta right now. So I live in Atlanta. And while there are plenty of black businesses and black-owned businesses and black people in this community and area, we don't take care of each other in a sense. Now, if we're talking about food, I would say yes. A lot of black people want to eat at black restaurants, because we trust each other with food. When it comes to black food, definitely when it comes to soul food. Now, I don't know the white people soul food restaurant. I don't know them. But I do know that I go to a black soul food restaurant. It's called Who's Got Soul. Now, there's another one that I go to. Who's Got Soul is in I want to say Decatur. The one I go to is Covington Highway, right? Just on Covington Highway, just past, either just past or just before Glenwood. So Glenwood, I think it's a little further than that. Covington Highway, though. You go down Covington Highway, it's somewhere on Covington Highway. After 285. After 285, like I said, it's either just before 285 or just after 285, Highway 285. So that's the Who's Got Soul I go to. Probably one. Now, Big Daddy's is a very good restaurant. That's downtown. I'm not sure the street it's on. What's another one that I go to? The other one I go to is in my neighborhood in Covington, which is a little bit ways away from Atlanta, but that's called Blockers. And I know Blockers has another. They said they have another location, but the one I go to in Covington is off of 278, Highway 278, which is basically another way to say highway. It's Covington Highway in Covington, basically. But Highway 278, right off of, It's right off the exit 90 on Highway 20, Interstate 20. I guess east or west. Right off Interstate 20, exit 90. It's right off there in the Food Depot. Shopping center area. But I go there, and I said these are black-owned businesses. We make sure that we take care of black-owned food businesses. I don't think there's any question about that. I haven't been to Old Lady Gang by the Candy and Candy Burris and what's his name, Todd. Todd Tucker. I haven't been to that one. I do want to try it though. And there's another one called Mary Mac's. I've never been. I think those are more like gourmet type restaurants, like gourmet black folks, right? Gourmet soul food, which is cool. But like I said, I think we support each other when it comes to eating food, for the most part. But I think when it comes to like buying clothes, shoes. Now, I don't know of a black-owned shoe company that I can patronize. I don't know of a black-owned department store that I can patronize. So, if there was one, I think I would like to go. But, yeah, Walmart has kind of came in and swooped and took all that stuff. So, but I noticed that a lot of black Americans, what I've seen black Americans kind of do is, we want to be like white people. Yeah, I said it. Now, me personally, that's not what I'm trying to say. He said, "But David, you kind of talk like it." I just talk like myself. My mom don't talk black in that sense either. So I just talk like me. So there's not, you understand what I'm saying? My dad didn't have some, black accent, if you want to call it that. He just talked like himself. Like, he just seemed like a normal dude to me. Whereas I know, like, family members who made sure that they stayed ethnic in their, speech vernacular. That's not necessary for me. I don't feel like it's necessary. I'm still a Negro. I'm still black. I don't care. I still will, because I don't use the term nigga to refer to black folks. Nigga to me refers to everybody. Like, I can put nigga on anybody. Like, if I say that nigga this, that means that, I don't care who you are, you can take that moniker of nigga. I don't care. You can take that term, nigga. I can use that term on any race, culture, whatever. I don't care. And I don't care what you're, just like a preacher. People like, you can't call a preacher a nigga. Like, why? Who is he? So, why can't I call a preacher a nigga? Like, that's the pastor of the church. And, I don't know that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's who is he to me? Like, but we kind of do that in Black America. We kind of try to be like, or want to be, we feel better about ourselves when we're able to go and kick it at a white store. When we can do the things that white people can do to us. Like, okay, well, yeah, I can do this, because it's something that white people do. Like, that's not impressive to me. I'm not impressed by that. Like, that's not what it is to me. So what I'm saying is that we just got too many people running, and black people definitely, like I was saying from the beginning, we need to have our own political party. And I think I heard a comedian say like black people aren't Democrat or Republican. I remember asking my mom about this. I asked my mom when we were having like a mock election when I was in like 5th grade. Okay? And I asked my mom, what are we? Like, are we Democrat? Are we Democrat or Republican? That's why, I asked. Like, it was kind of a new concept, because as a child, I definitely as a black child, we don't really focus on politics. We don't really pay attention to politics. That's not something that's spoken at the dinner table. That's not something spoken about, frequently at all, which is how to vote, when to vote, who to vote for, what are policies and legislature. None of that stuff was talked about in my household. We seen, when me growing up, I seen Eyes on the Prize. I seen, Roots. I seen, Black. I seen those shows, those movies and TV shows that, were about, civil rights and Black history, but we never really got deep into it, So, because we never got deep into it, I never really, knew that. So in 5th grade, I think it was 5th grade or 5th grade or 6th grade. I think it might have been 6th grade even. But we had this mock voting that we did. You know what? It had to be 6th grade then. Maybe it was 4th grade. I don't remember. It was when Dukakis. Was that 88? I think it was 88, so it might have been 4th grade. So, but I remember because it was Dukakis and Bush. Yeah. So, we since we had this mock election at school, I'm like, okay, Mom, like, what are we? Are we Republicans or Democrats? And my mom was like, I guess, we're Democrats. And that's what she kind of said. That's like pretty much the way, if I can remember it correctly, that's exactly what she said. I guess we're Democrats. We all, me and your dad always vote Democrat. So I'm like, oh, okay. She was like, well, they typically side with what we, the things that we want and the things for us. That's who most Black people. She kind of did say that at that point in time. So the understanding of that, and like I said, when I was in 5th grade, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm a Democrat. I thought that, but I then, once I got into about, I think it was 6th grade, 7th grade, and I was at a school that was mostly white folks. I was at a school that was mostly white people. So when I went to junior high, 7th, 8th grade, I got to a building where there was 2 junior highs. There was our junior high, and then there was another junior high from, that was engrafted into the school from that had closed somewhere else. It was called Benjamin Mays, and Benjamin Mays had more Black people. It was more of a quote-unquote inner-city school where you had a vast majority of more Blacks and definitely brown-skinned people. But, yeah, way more Black people. And a lot less white folks. And it was a culture shock to me. Like, I hadn't been, and I say culture shock because I hadn't been around a lot of Black people like that in school. So, and then I'm learning myself. I'm going through, the age adjustment where I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about my race. I'm learning about, then I'm learning about a lot of stuff, history. So I'm looking at things, much more differently than I did in the past. And I'm definitely looking at it in a different scope. Definitely looking at it in a more of a racial scope, because I'm seeing the difference in how I was treated, when I was younger versus how I'm treated now. Excuse me. But coming into my own in that sense, I recognize, okay, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I never. I think after about 7th or 8th grade, it was around 7th or 8th grade, I was like, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Like, well, what is it if I'm not a Republican or a Democrat? And I found, okay, well, that means you're an independent. And I think all these, and I really think that these titles need to be abolished of Republican, because it really does throw off the spectrum of what you really think. Like, if you just allow people to be individuals, it just makes more sense. Like, having these parties, to me, are purposeless. They were created by, I would say, aristocratic white males who wanted, in a sense, to place their values and morals on people. So I really don't like the terms, nor do I want to adapt to the idea that I am a Republican or a Democrat, because these Republicans and Democrats were typically either slave-owning white males, or they were people who didn't like black people. Okay, because whether you're Republican or Democrat, you say the Republicans were people who were slave owners. Okay, and no, wait. The Republicans were people who were in the North, right? Yeah, back then. And the Democrats were the slave owners back then. And my thoughts on that is, well, even in the North, they didn't like us. You know, in the North, northern cities, for what it's worth, were worse in a lot of cases than southern cities. Because in the South, you kind of knew what your place was. There was a known. You knew what your place. You knew how people thought about you, and how people you knew how people. You know, you knew what you were going to receive. You knew the treatment that you were going to receive. You knew all that stuff. It was a natural thing. But in the North, see, that's in the South. You knew your place. Black folks knew their place. In the North, you didn't know your place. Somebody could smile in your face and set out to kill you or to destroy you behind your back. That's what happened in the North. So there were a number of things going on in the North that were done undercover. And that's learning that back then, when I was 12 and 13 years old, it led me to the idea, like, okay, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Neither one of these groups were for me. I don't care what president came in and had some good sense and said, well, you know what, we should abolish slavery. Wait, Abraham Lincoln was what? I think was like the 5th president, wasn't he? It took 5 presidents to come to that conclusion. So I don't care whether you're Republican. And George Washington was the first. George Washington was a slave owner. I believe John Adams was not a slave owner. I think he did a lot of things to try to, but he didn't. He didn't push for the abolishment of the abolition. What do you say? Abolishment of slavery. He didn't push for it. So to me, all the first 4 presidents, everybody before Lincoln. I don't remember if it's. I gotta look that up. Maybe I'm wrong about that. About Lincoln being the 5th president. Maybe he's not. Maybe Lincoln is actually the. Maybe Lincoln is the 15th president. Let me look it up because I don't remember. But I thought he was the 5th. Yeah, I think 17. No, he got to be further along than that, doesn't he? Yeah, I think he's like the 15th president or something. Let's look it up. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I gotta look this up because on my screen. Okay. But Abraham Lincoln became president. Can I look it up now? Since you guys, this is bull crap. You guys don't want me to look this crap up. 16th U.S. president. Okay, thank you. Like, David, you suck. Yeah, whatever. How you gonna be talking about stuff you don't even know? Like, well, hey, I tell you what, a lot of other people wouldn't know that I was close. Look, I was only 11 off. But even so, I hadn't thought about it like that. I hadn't thought about it that deep. But here we go. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. It took 15 other presidents before him said it's cool that 15 other presidents before him said it's cool that slavery is still in existence. So, like I said, this is why learning all of these things is why I came to the conclusion that I'm neither Republican nor Democrat, because 15 other white men claimed that it was all good. 15 other white men felt like it was okay to keep people in shackles and chains and to arrest people and to bring, and if they got away, if they were able and managed to get free, you had people who were saying, no, take them back to where they came from and let them be enslaved. So you had 15 other white males who essentially agreed with it enough to not do anything. Okay? Abraham Lincoln decided to, do. But like I said, even with Abraham Lincoln, he was like, "Oh, should I do it or shouldn't I do it?" So to me, okay, good job, Abraham Lincoln. That you actually had the balls to actually follow through with it. That's what I like. That you had the balls to follow through. And everybody else didn't. So, what am I talking about? Black people need their own. We need our own party, and the issue with black people not having our own party, it comes from the idea that we don't have money, or we don't have businesses supporting in our community. We don't have the businesses that that people are supporting, that black people support. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the money. Well, see, because rich black people, this is my point, is rich black people, athletes, musicians, businessmen, politicians, all these rich black people want to go live with white people. Rich black people don't want to build up the black community. They want to go and find, invest their money in white communities. That's the issue. That's the problem that we're having. That's why we will never have. That's why we're having a tough time with raising and grooming a black strength in the black community. Is because we are investing our dollars everywhere but in our own communities. Like I said, we have rich black people. We have very wealthy. There are wealthy black people now, but their investments are not in black communities. Their investments are elsewhere. Now, most of these rich black people grew up in these areas that they ran away from, or that they got money and they went somewhere else. Most of them did that. Most of them grew up in poor neighborhoods and then got their money and never, and they say never look back. When I say never look back, I mean they never look back or never came back to invest money in the community. I'm not talking about giving to charity, giving to a community center, giving to this, Boys and Girls Club. I'm talking about actually investment, like you built businesses in this community. You built some type of infrastructure as far as business is concerned. You're building something that will become that will provide stable employment, that will provide stability in the black community. You haven't built anything for that. Giving money, in a sense, put it like this: pouring money into a hole is not going to help fill in the hole. You've got to first you got to build money. You have to give money to plug the hole, and then you've got to plug the hole, pour dirt in the hole, close the hole. That's what you got to do. You got to close the hole so the hole doesn't exist. Now, if there's a bunch of holes everywhere, that means you've got to put money, and you got to fill in all the holes before you can start building, right? Nobody builds their house on a hole. You have to, there's a foundation built. So giving money to something that doesn't have, that there's no solid foundation built, it doesn't do anything for the community. So these wealthy black people who are refusing, I understand we might not own some things, but these wealthy black people who have taken their money out of the black, who are taking their money and going elsewhere with it, I feel are responsible because they're the ones that have it. The rich white people who grew up poor are helping rich white people, and some of the rich white people who grew up poor, put no different than black people, are put money into a black community. Guess who puts money in the black community? Asian people. You know that? Asian people have businesses in black communities. Why? Because they know that black people spend money. Mexican people really don't deal with black folks. They keep Mexican people try to deal with other Mexican people. They don't really deal with Asian people either. It's just, hey, So it's more like, do you speak my language? I think that's what it is. It's the language barrier that I think some blacks and black people and Mexican people are so similar. I just don't think there should ever be an issue between us. So I just don't. I just think it's foolish. And it's something that's been created. It's a manufactured, feud that was created between blacks and Mexicans, manufactured by, old white people, old white men. I'm gonna say it like that. Manufactured by old white men. It is pointless. It's pointless to feel that way and to be that way because we're so similar in our cultures and with each other. We're just so similar. But yeah, so the idea that we have to, we should, roll with Kamala Harris or whatever other black, what's his name, Booker, just because you're a Democrat. Like I said, I think I'm going to revote. I think I'm going to vote for the independent. Now, I would wonder why there's not somebody black who is running as an independent. Where's the independent, candidate? Where's the independent black candidate, who is, running his, stuff from grassroots? You understand what I'm saying? So, I think that as far as Joe Biden or Obama is concerned, or whoever else wants to sponsor these people, black people need to work on becoming a political party, and I think that's what the Black Panther Party was, and that's why it was considered threatening. Black unity is threatening because of what's possible in the unification of us, right? So the Black Panther Party represented black people getting together and becoming politically and savvy, which means your rights, you know the Constitution, you care about each other. That's what that was about. It was about being savvy in a political way. It was becoming. Black Panther Party had the mindset of this, kind of the same way that the white revolutionists had in this country, and that's what scared white America at that time, and it probably still scares white America at this time. If you had revolutionary black people standing up saying, "Okay, this ain't gonna happen anymore. We're gonna go. In a sense, we're gonna go. We're willing to go to war as long, if we don't get, if we don't get fair treatment, you're gonna treat us the same way." Look. The white revolutionists in old time America did what? They said, we're not paying taxes to a king. We don't respect your king, your monarchy. We refuse to be under it. So we're going to fight for it. And that's what they did. So any white American so-called patriot who is against black people getting together and doing the same thing, then I would venture to say they're not patriots. They are idiots. Let's tell the truth. That's what I do on this show, and I've got to go. Thank you for joining me. I would say more, but I'm going to end it right there. But I do believe that black people, we need to get together. We need to have a political party. There needs to be a political party, whether we're calling ourselves independent or what. I think blacks and Mexicans, and because I think we see eye to eye in a lot of things. Blacks and the Black Americans, Mexican Americans. I'm not sure about the Asian Americans. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what they see, if they see us eye to eye with us or not. I guess I know some, but I know one community, the Hmong community in Minnesota. I know them, but like I said, we all see eye to eye because we're all living in these same hoods. We just excuse me, we just, like I said, to me, all the colors, all of us colored people, are really closer than we think. But we've been separated by the white man's story of us. Definitely black people have been ostracized by the white man's story of us by everybody. So the white man, the white man or woman or whatever, the white America has said, be scared of black people because they're this, or be scared of black people because they're that. And people have bought into it. And because we carry no weight and no party, we have no party lines, we have no strength in business and so as far as our neighborhoods. Because of this, people teach, Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, that they teach their children not to really mess with us, not to really talk to us, not to really be, to procreate with us. That's what they do, and I think it's just so jacked up because we're so similar and we're so alike, But we definitely need to have a different party other than Democrats and Republicans, because it's just ruining this whole Democrat-Republican thing is ruining the nation. So what we need is, like I said, we need a true independent to run and to be real and to not be afraid. And we need to, like I said, as long as he's saying the right thing, which will be pretty much anything against the Democrats and Republicans, just somebody that's free from either side, and is not trying to latch on to I got to do it because the Republicans said so. Well, I got to do this because the Democrats. Just somebody that's free in their thinking. That's who I want to vote for, and I think that's who the majority of America would vote for if that person would show them. That's all I got to say. Thank you for joining me. This is the David Brewer Show, JockWave. Thanks a lot. I'm out.